So the next monitoring activity that we're going to talk about is log analytics. Let's go into all services and search for log. And you'll see log analytics is one of the options. It's a log analytics service. Now the fundamental container, the fundamental resource that log analytics needs to operate is called a workspace. And you'll see here I've created a workspace called SAZ-SJD new work. You can create your own workspace. And like I said, it's really just a storage account or a container in which you're going to set up these logs to be pulled in. So I'm going to go into my existing one, but you might have to create one. Now, we have this container. By default, it's empty. There's no logs coming into here. What we need to do is start pulling in data sources. So I'm going to go down to the virtual machines data sources, and you can see all of the virtual machines currently on my account. I have 3 of them. 2 of them are providing their log files into this workspace, and 1 of them is not. Okay. To add any particular resource into this workspace, I just need to select it and say connect. And once I've connected it, then all of the log files from that virtual machine or that resource is going to be searchable within this workspace. We can do storage accounts. We can do the top level subscription. So my pay-as-you-go subscription is connected. So all of the activities relating to my account, the creating of virtual machines, the creating of resource groups, those are subscription level activities. They can go into my log analytics account so that I can do searching on it. If we go down into the Azure Resources tab, we can see here all of the resources that are on my account that are eligible. So I'm going to go into my first web app resource group. And you'll see here that the network security group is connected, but the web app itself is not connected. So I'm going to go into the web app. I have to give it a name. So I'm going to say AZSJD web app 1. And which logs do I want to pull in? I want to pull in all metrics, right? The metrics again are the CPU usage and the memory usage, etc. So I'm going to hit save on that. Okay. And then when I go, I'm going to also do this at the service plan level. So AZSJD new plan, and I want all metrics. Okay, save. So now I've got 2 additional sources besides the 2 virtual machines whose you'll see that it actually differentiates between the metrics connection and the diagnostics connection. Okay, because this is a software as a service platform as a service model, then diagnostics is less of a concern than actual metrics. Now, to see the workspace summary. Now, the overview of my log analytics account is basically going to tell me that I've got 500 activity records that I can search on. Okay? If I was to close out of this, go into my logs section, this is really the heart here of log analytics. I'm going to minimize that so that this becomes front and center. All right. So you'll see here that the big part of the screen here is like type your query here. It's basically a search window. And this is very reminiscent to me of Query Analyzer within SQL Server Management Studio. So we can basically start typing. So if I want to say Azure activity, then you'll see count. You'll see that this is the data source, and the function that I want to run against it is a count. So I want to see how many records come back. So I get a result of 103 in terms of records that are available in the Azure activity data source. Okay. Now I can then, they're very conveniently giving me ability to filter on this. Okay. So if I wanted to say, okay, well, let's remove the count, run that. We can then see the actual events that are in our log. We can see the resource group, the status, the substatus. I just want to have, let's say I want to filter on activity status equal to succeeded. So within the results, I can obviously do some filtering. But over here on the left, there's a whole set of other things that I can basically filter on. And when I do start to select them, let's say I want to see only from the AZ SJD First Web Apps resource, and I want to apply that. See how it's modified the query? It's added a where clause, where resource equals web app. Okay, so this is very similar to a SQL query, except it doesn't say the word select or from, right? But we can basically start to drill down. I want to see all of the start web app operations. And so now I've got two where clauses, where resource equals this, where operation name equals that. And now my results start to filter down. So log analytics is basically a way for you to collect thousands and millions upon log records and then be able to do searches in line to see all of the activities on your account within these resources, filter on a specific resource. You want to find out something that happened. And this does tie into the alert system, because I don't know if I can go over here a little bit, but we can see here that I can actually set an alert. So let's say I do want, we've already got an alert based on the web app stopping, but what if I wanted to set an alert based on the web app starting, right? I can basically tie in from my log analytics into the alert system. And as you can see, I can also pin the query results to my Azure dashboard. So if I want this query to be front and center, I want to know anytime within the last hour, this web app has been started successfully, then I want that pinned to my dashboard as a report that needs to be front and center. You can do that. So log analytics it reminds me of some commercial products. There's a product called Splunk that many of you are going to be familiar with. Being able to run queries and then do a point and click filters based on the results is really great for when you're debugging something that's really going wrong and you've just got a production website and people are reporting errors and you just need to sort of dig down into the records. You need a tool like this as opposed to just having raw text files that you need to Control F to search through. So log analytics is the Splunk of Azure. It allows you to search through virtual machines, storage accounts, and all sorts of, your top level subscription, all sorts of sources in order to find interesting resource errors and other types of messages that you can then act on.